You guys obviously had a bunch of success last night playing small. How sustainable, do you think that could be even when you have centers back? And how do you balance that when you do get James and come on back, wanting to play that style, but also needing to implement them?
I think it's good to know that it could still work. Um, so you just know you got it in your back pocket. But at the end of the day, if our guys are healthy, um, I think over the course of the long run, that's going to give us the best chance at winning. So, as good as it was, obviously those are the circumstances for us right now. So, we'll be much of the same tomorrow and probably for the next few games at least. So, yeah, we just got to continue to do what we do last night. We in the second half we defended without fouling, and because of that we were able to and we rebounded the basketball. And because of those two things, we were able to get out and run. We were able to get our offensive moving and get into some flow. So, uh, if we can just continue to focus on those things, regardless of who on the floor, those things have to be a point of emphasis for us.
Hey, Draymond, when I know you guys have had a history of going small, and I know this isn't the best circumstances to be going small, with injuries and things like that. But when you do have to go small and you're forced to do it with your history of success, are you like, okay, for sure, I can do this. I have a comfortability in doing this, and we can make this happen. Do you feel that way when you're forced to go small?
Yeah, 100%. I no matter what, when we go small, I always think we have an advantage. In my mind. So, I don't look at it as a negative. Obviously, I'm very comfortable with going small. And playing the five. I think that exposes things on other teams as well. So it's something that we've done a lot over the years, and it's at this point it's kind of second nature.
Bet, thanks.
Draymond, Kendra Andrews, NBC Sports Bay Area. Last night, I think it was either Steph or Juan said that you're a guy who just loves like, setting good screens and you take a lot of reward in that. And that's not something that you find in a lot of players. So, what about doing those little things is so satisfying to you when they're done correctly?
I think you have to do those. Somebody has to do those little things in order to win at a high level. And I take pride in doing that. Juan also is someone who takes pride in doing that and is showing in his play. The reality is I view screens like I view assists, and I get more excited to get an assist than I do to score a point. That's just how I've always been. And screening is the same way for me. When I nail a guy on the screen and Steph hit a three, I probably feel better than he feels about making a three. When I get a good screen, that's just kind of playing for Coach Izzo. That was something that was hammered home at all times. You got to set screen, and if you didn't, you would never hear the end of it. And I credit Coach Izzo and Coach DJ, OG, Monty, Fife, coaches that I had in college. For really teaching me about screening angles. When I think of my understanding of basketball, a lot of my understanding of basketball come from my uncle, as just teaching me the game as a kid, my uncle Benny. But the reality is, in my screening, that all comes from Michigan State. Where teaching me the angles of screens and how to set screens, and most importantly, making you want to set screens. And so that's something that I really love to do. I view it as getting an assist.
Steph mentioned last night he thought it might be good for James to sit and watch it, kind of basically what happened last night. Good ball movement, fluidity. Can you see him, fitting into that type of a style where it's up and down, it's passing, quick decisions, that type of stuff?
Well, he's probably faster than all of us. He from baseline to baseline, stride for stride. I'm not sure if any of us can keep up with him. So, in saying that, I know he can keep up running wise. But to play that type of pace and that style, it takes some getting used to. Everything's happening so fast and on the fly that I'm not going to sit here and lie and say he can do that right now. I'm sure he can do it in glimpses just because of the talent level he is. But just from an understanding perspective, I'm not sure that he can, but I am 100% sure he will get there. And so that's, once again, he's still 19 or 20 games in his career. To think that he can understand to play at that pace and all of those reads right now is unrealistic for him, So in saying that, he'll 100% pick that up. And until he does, we're going to do whatever we got to do to use his strengths.
Steve said your
All right,
combination.
Karis, last question. Go ahead. Last question.
Yeah, that Steve said that your combination, Draymond, of energy and brains makes you one of the most unique players in the league. And just observing your career, when you are dialed in, the Warriors have a high chance of winning. So how do you sustain that energy, whether it's a 72-game season or 82-game season, knowing that there are going to be some human moments, some games where you might just not have it or feel it that night? But it's almost like, do you feel like you have to be a Superman for your team every night?
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. We're paid to do a job, and if in our contracts it was written out that this is your job for this contract that you signed, that would be a part of my job description. So the reality is, yes, I have to be that every night, and when I fall short, it makes it a lot greater possibility that we're going to fall short. And that's not me saying that, I am the one who, like, if I don't play well, we can't win. That's not true. But I think when I am dialed in, it takes us to a completely different level, offensive and defensively. And so that comes with, my mom always tell me to whom much is given, much is required. She said that to me my entire life. And, that's just the nature of the situation. Now, as far as sustaining that for an entire season, it's tough, especially without fans, because you a lot of times you feed off the crowd, and I know I do. It's tough. There's times where you get bored during the season. There's just so many games. But in training all summer, Travis Walton and Travis would just tell me more highs than lows. Just want to have more highs than lows. And if we can have more highs and lows, we'll always give ourselves a chance. If I can have more highs and lows, we'll give ourselves a chance.